Welcome back, everyone. Aces NFL show. Week 5, Sip. Week 5, the preview.
Yes.
We're back in town.
Yes.
I'll tell you who's back. The King, Henry. I told you he'd eat. Harrow's on the tools behind the scenes. He told me at the start of the year he was going to be rubbish.
Yeah,
and we are 4-0 in
week.
fantasy, and I'm up and about, King. I'm up and about. Although we're going to get into the talking points from last week, and I'll start off. But Mark Andrews, he's done to me. He dropped a soda, and we've all dropped sodas in our lives.
Yeah.
But it was a soda, and it would have covered. It would have covered me. Would have went 3 from 3, and he never got another look.
He has done something to that coaching staff, I reckon, over the offseason.
I haven't seen him since the AFC Championship game.
I don't know. They're on the lookout for him. Signs are up everywhere. That's for sure.
Wow, it was a 3 from 6 type of operation last week with our best bets. We're going to remove, moving forward, we're going to get rid of head-to-head. No value.
I just need to get this off my chest straight away.
Yep,
the Jets can blow me.
The Jets.
We'll say that again.
Yeah, say that again.
The Jets can get stuffed.
Yeah.
That honestly, I am sick and tired of them. I'm sick and tired of them. That's your mob right now.
It's going to hurt. 3-1 we could have been.
A 10-9 game with the offense that you have, and you lose to a Bo Nix who threw for 60 yards the whole game.
-7 at halftime or something.
Talk about puge.
What can the defense would be going? What are you doing, boys?
Mate. Moving on.
Sickening. No, we're not moving on. We're not moving on because we're going to...
The bets were a bit rough on Sip's end, but we'll move,
It wasn't too bad. We hit our touchdown scores, which is the hardest one.
I was close, though.
Yeah,
Gee.
we'll go. Yeah, I know. Scary Terry went for 52, and the line was 52.5. By the time we did put the bet on, even though it was 55 when you said it. So we'll go over it. But Chiefs won. Nico Collins TD. I went 2 from 3. Mark Andrews dropped a soda, so he didn't go over. I won't be touching him ever again. And then you had Scary Terry, who went for 50 and a tutty, I'm pretty sure.
Yep,
and he just missed out. And Jets. But you had Kyron Williams, who I think he's gone a TD every week game. So far.
Yeah, he's on par with your man, the King.
Yep. We're going to change our strategy moving forward. We're going to remove. We're too the head-to-head is a waste of time. There's no value in it.
Yeah, and look, it's any given Sunday. Teams can. That is so true. Each week is just so different, and any team can go out there and get the job done, which we've seen for the last 4 weeks. So I think, you know what? Let's just try and get a bit more value with some other areas, and I reckon to get it going.
2 props and a TD moving forward, and maybe even an extra TD if you're feeling good. Righto, week 4 talking points. There's plenty of them. I want to give a shout out to all the aces that got around Instagram. How good was that, Sip?
Yeah, we have very, very good.
We have all your messages, and I want to
feedback. It's been excellent.
I want to get around all of you, but we don't have time because there's that many messages. But we've read all of them, and there's a lot of talk about things we're talking about. And Devontae Adams, don't you think that I'm not reading all your messages? I've got everyone in here talking about Seattle will win the division. Well, we'll break all that down. Might have told you about that about 6 weeks ago. But yeah, plenty to talk about, and can't thank you all enough for writing in.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. It's been very good. Having a look at it right now, and there's a lot of feedback there, and a lot of different subjects actually, which is good too. So not everybody kind of jumping on board the same thing. There's some quality out there, which is excellent. So loving it at the moment. So appreciate everyone jumping on board and providing some great feedback.
Let's get stuck into it. Smack out the week 4 talking points. We'll start off with a couple of tight ends. Mark Andrews, you probably can't trust him anymore because it's just a run-heavy offense, isn't it? Yes. Unless the Ravens are playing in a game like this week that might be a bit more favoured,
you're right.
Division game, he's not really required. He's just blocking, and he's doing it really well.
It's hard because of what Likely did week 1 too, though. That's probably what makes it a bit tougher. Is it Likely goes out there and scores a tutty. Literally that close to getting 2, and you're thinking, well, Mark Andrews will just kind of take over that in the coming weeks, and nothing's happened. So their run game's obviously been elite. Lamar's just continued on doing his thing. Obviously adding Derek's been massive. Even Justice Hill has been able to kind of get in more on the passing side of it, but still third down guy just been massive for him. And they haven't needed to use anybody else. Even the wide receivers aren't really Bateman hasn't really been used. Flowers isn't really kind of going off.
I think I had a mate that needed him for 15 yards and he went for 10.
He went for 10.
Surely. I go, well, they're not passing.
Yeah, their run game's just elite right now, and they haven't needed to worry about doing anything else because they're just such high power there. So it's a bit of a shame because Mark Andrews had a massive year last year, and you know,
I know our man Joe Watson's not happy in the WhatsApp. He wants to know what he's done to his coach.
One of my good friends drafted Mark Andrews as well, and he's about the same. I reckon he's put him up for trade 3 weeks in a row to keep reiterating, get rid of him, get rid of him.
It will explode soon. I was saying, when's tight end week? Because it hasn't been. I don't think anyone cares about them anymore. They're just blockers.
It's almost been like the full back and just become irrelevant in the game now. It's bizarre.
It truly has.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, though, at tight end, not only is he going to be back, he's probably going to continue to rise because there's been some massive news. Rashid Rice, ACL off a pick.
We don't know yet.
What, it's not confirmed?
So we're not confirmed. So the news that came out now is that the swelling in that is that bad around the area that all the imagery in that wasn't able to be fully. Wow. But if it hasn't been confirmed as an ACL, it might be a better result.
Wow, that's
so normally what happens, obviously you go get a scan the next day, pretty much confirmed, As far as we're aware, that's not the case right now. So there's some more testing in that to be done. They reckon they won't find out till next week, but that may mean that it's a good thing for him in terms of the ACL still there, but obviously other ligaments may be in a bit of a worry. So that's your little update right there for you. But Rashid Rice obviously will still be out for an extended period of time, but the ACL still might actually be okay.
Well, that's great news because he's been on fire.
Which is also massive for trading and that's going on with, obviously trade deadline coming up in the next month and that. So I'd be interested November 5th, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there now, what the Chiefs do. If it is an ACL, then obviously they're going to have to get some work in. If they don't, maybe they try and work around with something else and see what happens. But better news than I think what they were expecting, at least initially.
Yeah, that's great. Daniels and the Commanders are just, how good is it to see good quarterbacks?
Washington needed it so badly.
Oh, they needed it so badly. But their head coach, Dan Quinn, we said this before the season started, how much we rated him. And I reckon Dallas are really starting to find out what kind of hole he's left. I know they've got their defensive coordinator's all right, but Dan Quinn, everyone loves him, and you can see that everyone rises to the occasion and gets around him. But to see Daniels come in, stand in the pocket, I still can't get over that scary Terry touchdown a couple of weeks ago. Mate, he just copped a hiding, just took it, but laced it out. And I'm thinking, if he can throw it that accurately and use his legs, you know how much I love Lamar Jackson. It might be better.
It's almost a 2.0. Like he might be better. It's almost version 2. Yeah.
I feel like he throws the ball better.
Well, I think he does too. That's honestly probably one thing that he does have over Lamar is that he actually does have a cannon of an arm and is actually quite accurate. So
I'm a bit worried about
they're going well, aren't they? Not only do they put up 42 last week, but they keep Arizona to 14, which have a reasonable offense themselves. But they literally, it was a bloodbath.
It was.
It was an absolute bloodbath.
It was a bloodbath. The Ravens run game against Josh Allen. Yeah, King Henry. Oh, that first possession.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Oh, you should have. What about remember Johnson, the sprinter? Remember Johnson, the American sprinter? He's arched the back and just.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You think that he looks like it's just all happening in slow motion, but no one catches him.
They put up his speed. It's not far off Xavier Worthy.
I know. It's like 21.8 or something like that. I was just
imagine just standing in front of him and copying that.
6'3", 250, running at 21 miles per hour. You're not stopping him,
mate. You got bunnies behind the machines over here. Our producer, our editor. Are you telling me that King's done?
It was excellent. It was excellent.
Hey? He's still rubbish.
Wait till it gets cold. Imagine the King coming downhill.
He has had some monster weeks, and the Ravens look extremely hard to beat. They arguably should be 4-0 right now as well. Chiefs game, so close.
Likely touchdown with a toe.
That's right. And then really shouldn't have lost
to the Raiders.
Really shouldn't have lost to the Raiders at all. I don't understand.
Can you believe
that
I've lost a bet last leg?
They're in good form.
Raiders done me with Ravens. Browns done me with Giants. And who was the other one I told you the other week? It was the Bengals.
It was the Bengals.
With Washington's actually all right, so I'll cop that.
Yeah, but we still didn't know.
But at least they've proven it. Anyway, we'll fly through. Bucky Irving and the Bucks. We said last week, get around Bucky. Well, he scored and had 49 rushing yards. Yep. That's still a monitor one, though. I thought Watt was still involved more heavily than I thought.
They're 50-50 right now, aren't they, to be honest?
The Gibson-Stevenson split, we did mention that, I thought, last week. Antonio Gibson, he will take over. You have a stat on Stevenson with the fumbles.
He's had one every single week so far. He's got 4 for the year, and it's not looking good for him right now. Gibson is certainly taking over those reps.
A bit like crispy Kareem Hunt. Krispy Kremes. Krispy Kremes has done everyone.
Hey, he's back, baby. He is back.
And I tell you who's not
Don't
back.
worry.
Hayden Crozier and Aaron Norton.
Yeah.
They might have
They
picked up.
missed out.
They took
They
the other
missed
running
out
back and he fumbled and then he got.
That's because I took him.
Wow.
great.
So the boys have wasted a bit of farb. We keep moving. Sam
Excellent.
Darnold, early MVP. He's exactly
Yeah.
the problem with the QB going to a shit team early. He's done it. He's only his 7th year, I think. He's younger than Joe Burrow.
Yep.
And now he goes to a team with a great defense. He gets a bit of luck because their rookie QB goes down with a meniscus. And he comes in and he does everything that we thought he would do 7 years ago.
That's right.
It's amazing what happens with a bit of time. I think he was at San Fran last year,
yeah.
so you can only imagine what he learnt in the QB room behind Purdy.
And they really liked him too there.
Yeah.
Like they offered him another one to obviously kind of stay there, but obviously took his chances.
And
so
it just amazes me how many blokes are in the league, I reckon, that are like Sam Darnold, that are better than quarterbacks going around.
Agree.
You know, like how Miami Dolphins, this is not even on the run sheet, how Miami Dolphins
can lead into it.
We'll lead into it now. How they can continue to play football without acquiring a quarterback like Dalton, like Darnold, is beyond me. You know, Tua's got the head. He's already.
Do you know what they put up for the last? You know what they're averaging over the last 3 weeks since Tua's out?
What?
6 points.
With
that offense.
Our man Rory Atkins was doing a bit of a vlog. I said, how's the vlog going, Rad? He goes, I'm at the bar. I wanted to go watch the other game. He did the first half.
Exactly.
Will Levis bench. I mean, that's what I mean. You got.
Yeah.
You got
yuck. The offense is so high powered. Just go get a half decent quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is out there.
Joe Flacco.
Just go get somebody with a little bit of experience and help out your offense and run it.
Someone that can just swing the ball. I mean, Tannehill's perfect because he's tough and he can throw the ball and he can use his legs.
And he'll give the ball off. He'll give the ball off. He'll find the right option. He can throw the deep ball when he needs to. Like, just
I tell you what.
Come on, mate.
Snoop Huntley, I thought was better than that.
I did too.
I still haven't given up on him. I reckon he might be able to surprise us, but
I don't know, mate. Tough going.
If you're a Miami fan, though, say you're the owner. I don't want to skip over this. If you're the owner, you fork out that much cash. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Waddle, you got all the speedsters.
You do. You have. You're highly powered on the offensive
and defense as well.
What I don't know why you haven't made the call. Your ambition is to go make the playoffs and win that division. Your chance now more than ever to go and win that division. I don't understand how you can't go out there and find somebody that you know is available, that is a veteran and has been around there for a long time. Why you can't just bring him in?
Tannehill's a past player
I don't understand. Put him on the practice squad for the first few weeks if you want to, then, but just have somebody there. I don't understand.
It was week 8, right? They reckon week 8.
Yeah,
week 8.
That's it. Like, he's on IR obviously, so he automatically can't play until week 7 or 8 or something. Like, might be week 6 actually, or something like that. But then, like, who knows how he's going to respond to it all and everything
if they can't get 6
But the
points.
problem is with Tua is that each time he takes a hit, he's going to get worse and worse. So
it's coming.
Like, it's coming. It's coming. So you need to. I just don't understand how you can't just have another experienced guy there just to be able to get it going. And
just for the year,
you can tell the frustration. Like, watching that game on Tuesday morning,
I turned it off.
Like, Tyreek Hill wanted to get back in his car and get charged again.
Well, he was out. Yeah, mate, he was out 3. He nearly got he nearly got a speeding fine on the ground. He was out. He was running that quick. He's up the field. Snoop Huntley couldn't hit the side of a barn.
It was some really bad football. Like, really bad football.
Yeah, it's hard. And I love Miami Dolphins, and I hate seeing blokes like, and this leads into it, Devontae Adams not be used because of the situation he's in. So it's time for me to just remind you all what I told you about 4 weeks ago. I reckon I told you C-Mac will be injured because his calf, I know calves better than anyone, and once they go bang, you're in trouble. He's got tendonitis and Achilles. That's even worse.
Both.
Well, one I've heard, but started with both. But yeah, both's just a nightmare. Then I told you Devontae Adams is definitely leaving. Now, I've done some research, Sip. I've done a little bit more diving into this. And this is why I reckon he's 100% going to the Jets. I've told you this preseason. I told you this at the start of the season. is a wide receiver called Garrett Wilson. Is he one of their best wide receivers?
Probably the best on their team.
Well, he was number 17 last year. All of a sudden, he's now number 5. He's saying, I'll just open up the slot. And then they go, well, someone needs to fill it so this isn't too obvious. So they go, well, okay, Malachi Corley, you take the bullet and you're going to rock 17. So when Devontae Adams comes in, by NFL rules,
merchandise.
he has to buy the existing inventory and jersey distributors.
That's excellent.
So he's going to buy out our man, Malachi Corley, who's probably sold 3 jerseys to his family in his life. So Devontae Adams comes in, and I'm looking at it, there's a little bit of cap space for the Jets.
Excellent.
And they're also 21st ranked offensively at the moment.
They are.
So if they need some offense, it's the Jets. Tell me the Jets aren't going to take him.
That is set up beautifully,
Why
isn't
would
it?
he go anywhere else?
After all that effort you have put in, I cannot say that he's not going to go to the Jets. I can't. It's as simple as that.
The only other club, I think, they do think
he
Derek Carr.
He goes to 2 teams, doesn't he? Like it's either the Saints or the Jets. He knows Derek. He played college with Derek. Obviously played with him at the Raiders as well. Or he goes to the Jets, where he's been with from the beginning, and they finally get something going on offense. Just depends if he wants to be in some nice warm weather or he wants to be in the freezing cold.
Well, Green Bay was cold.
Well, that's right. That's what I'm saying. So they're not at either or. He's obviously going to be fine with whether he wants to play in a dome and run the division over there, or does he go back with his boy and really make something happen again?
The other case to be made is Baltimore. Oh. But it's just not a great.
They don't have a running. They don't need it.
I know, but they
don't have a throwing game.
No, but they are unstoppable if he goes there.
He's not going there.
I'm just saying, if he goes there, that's a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, that is.
If they're healthy, like how do you stop that offense?
You don't.
You got everything.
Yeah,
you
do.
And Flowers.
You are right.
Flowers is very good. So all of a sudden, he's not getting their best defender.
I don't think it happens though.
I don't think it happens either. I think it goes to Jets.
But it is a very fair call. What about the Cowboys?
They've already said they're out.
Have they?
And Cooks is injured. I thought he was a big chance. Yeah.
Interesting.
Chiefs. Everyone's going Chiefs. Look, we're reading your messages. He's not going to go to Chiefs. No. They're in the same division. They're not going to do that deal.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why. And the Chargers, exact same reason. Yeah. I thought, that's a good fit. They've got no real wide receiver, but they're not going to send him to that division.
It's very rare that you get traded to within a division. Like,
Saquon Barkley?
But he was a free agent though.
Oh, true.
He was a free agent. So he didn't get traded there. He signed as a free agent. So that's a different ball game. Yeah, very rare that you get traded. The only one that I've, in recent time, was a Dotson from Washington to Philadelphia, but very rare to get traded. Free agency, all good. They want to be comfortable in the division, know the division, everything like that. But, I agree with you though. Like, they're not going to send him to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are already strong enough as it is. They're not going to be sending him to make him even more powerful. Yeah. But interesting one. Good. The Browns could be another one. I don't know. I don't
think he wants to be paired up with the Massage King.
It can't be.
Oh, man, have you seen what the Massage King? You can't even throw it with spiral.
I know. And he's actually got good guys to throw it to already, but he still can't do it.
He's been getting the palm massages.
He's wiping it off himself. And it's just, what's going on?
I don't think he's going to go. They're saying a straight swap for Cooper. What's the point of that?
Yeah, no, I don't. But I think it's just blatantly obvious that the Saints and the Jets are definitely the two ones that are going to be up there, and they need them. Like, both those guys need them.
I'm trying to think, like, if the Jets did the deal, if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm like, I want something back.
Yeah.
So they've got Mike Williams, Lazard, Wilson.
Yeah, I think Lazard is probably part of that trade.
Kind of his man.
But if he gets Devontae, he's going to be happy to throw off Lazard.
Yeah. See you, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you want Lazard?
Lazard, Adams.
But the Raiders aren't going to go, beautiful, we've got Lazard. You might as well get Hunter Renfrow.
They'll take Lazard and a second round pick or something like that, and I reckon that'll be fine, because I think the Raiders are in a stage now where they just need to start again and build up again, mate.
It'd be tough to be a Raiders fan.
I think Lazard would be the guy for sure.
Look, watch this space. It's got to be.
You did call it though, and it's now up there, and it's going to be done before the deadline on November 5th. So watch out where it goes.
If you follow NFL, you can tell. Even Sauce Gardner put up a little tattoo.
Yes,
and there's a lot going on, and I'm thinking, you go from 17 to 5.
Yeah.
Adams is already sitting out of games. He's not even injured, I don't think.
Nah.
The coach 2 weeks ago said a few players made business decisions, and we're going to make business decisions. Fast forward 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's done a hammy on Thursday's training session.
I love our sleeper hat, hamstring / trade. The head. So now he hasn't spoken to the head coach. The head coach is liking Instagram posts of Devontae Adams going. It's just set up beautifully.
Isn't the NFL awesome?
It's awesome. Real life TV.
Egos.
Yeah.
Egos, mate.
And the Jets are struggling a little bit.
It's all set up for that to happen, isn't it? It's just like, do you go to a team that may have 1 year with Rodgers is not the same.
He's not, but if Devontae Adams goes there,
it can change it
there's a bit more
dramatically.
There's a bit more time in the pocket.
No doubt. Or do you go to a team that's like now trying to get themselves back up there and be competitive in a division that's wide open?
My last question.
And go from there.
Last question. If you're Devontae Adams, do you want money or do you want a better chance?
It's all about the money, baby.
So it's not about winning.
It's all about the money. Don't tell me anything
he ain't
else,
gonna
mate. Not over there.
I don't reckon. I don't think Jets are going to have as much money as a couple of offers.
Going forward,
Yeah.
like this year,
Sauce, Garrett.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett might get flicked.
Whoa.
No,
Like it could. It can't. They can't do that. But
that's a bad take. He's not getting paid for another couple of years.
Nah, he's a couple of years away. Sauce is a couple of years away.
So there's a 2-year window there for Devontae Adams.
And Rodgers isn't getting paid as much. He made that for a reason.
And
but
he did take a pay cut, didn't he?
He did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
Rodgers pay cut.
Yeah.
Wilson changes numbers.
He dead set took a pay cut, and so it's wide open for that to happen. Which means, obviously, we've only seen what their cap space is for this year, but would assume that obviously there's going to be more for next year as well. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's enough of week 4 talking points. Thank you to everyone that tuned in on Instagram and wrote in their talking points. So many of you agreed with what we were saying and disagreed. There's plenty of talk, Sip, just before we move on. But there's some funny ones here. But Jordan Love wins MVP, Nicky Moz reckons. But there's a few other ones. Seattle win the division, M. Arco. Chiefs to win again from Caden. I don't like that. Baker Mayfield will win MVP from the chicken train. Devontae Adams to the Chiefs. I don't think so, Jackie. But there's just plenty of chat. DK Metcalf top 12. No shit. Henry or Saquon MVP right now. Coffees and frothies. I can say that again because Harrow just hates him. Vikings to miss playoffs. From L. Thompson.
Wow.
That's a big hot take.
We like
that.
that.
I don't mind that because they're in a
I
tough...
like that.
I mean, I don't like that. 4-0, they'd have to...
You've got to be doing something majorly wrong for that to happen, but that's a little smoky.
Bengals go on to playoffs. Caleb Harding. So just loving this. Jakey Andrews. Jets are trash. Same old shit every year. And our man Felix Von Hoff, because the ball needs to have a whistle in it and make a cool noise when the QB throws it, Vortex style. He's a rare unit, old Felix. We love it. Thanks to everyone that writes in. Let's get into it. Our Stewie Doo.
It's not 26 degrees at the beach, mate.
Stewie Doo TD list. Travis Kelce, Josh Jacobs, Mark Andrews, Michael Pittman, Sam Laporta, and Brandon Ayuk are all on that list. They haven't scored a touchdown.
Not yet.
So
got a couple more off the list, but there's been a couple more added on. Got to be about that time.
Now, Sip, a couple of teams on bye, but we won't talk about them just yet while I get them up. You just tell me who the first game we're going to talk about is, and that's Thursday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football, your beautiful Friday morning here. We have the Bucks and the Falcons. Good division matchup here at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Bucks are coming off some red hot form. Absolutely took the mickey out of Philadelphia last week. They had no answers. Tampa Bay's offense got going and their defense looks pretty sound considering they're a little bit banged up in the corner position in the secondary. So they've been going really, really well there. Falcons seem to be starting to get going a little bit though. Like I feel like some pieces are coming together nicely. One thing they need to get going is obviously that tight end position, and Pitts needs to get going. We'll speak about that maybe a little bit later, but I think
I'm loading up on Pitts. I'm loading up. I don't think I've got time for my best bets because this will come out right before the game.
This is great, yeah.
If you're listening and you're watching, I am
great.
Loading up on Pitts. So if you see me carrying on like a pork chop Friday night, it's because Pittsy dominated.
Yeah, I think he's got to get going. There's no doubt. I know. He's got to get. Well, he's got to. If he's at zero, he's at zero.
Bijan Robinson's.
Well, he's a bit banged up.
He's really banged up.
So I'm not even sure if he actually be even out on the park.
And what do we know about Bucks' run defense?
And their run has been very, very strong over the last few weeks. They have to. And Kurt's the right man to be able to do it. So Drake London needs to get going.
Mate, Pitt's coming
Mooney's been pretty solid for him, but Pitts needs to be the guy now to find the footy. If he can't get 30 yards against this Bucks-like secondary, he's in for another long year, and they may have to look at
training. Well, if I'm Pitts, I want to get out.
I'm serious.
I'd be like,
if
I'm had enough.
If you can't do it with Kirk Cousins, and they're gonna have to do it with somebody else.
The wheels will turn. I'm telling you, Kirk Cousins said he's been the most impressive.
You heard it here first, but if it doesn't, you know where to go.
Yeah, well, send him somewhere because he's a waste of talent. But Kirk Cousins said Pitts has been my most impressive offensive weapon this preseason.
Yeah.
You know,
well, he hasn't thrown him the ball.
I know.
How about that?
Call his name.
He's not getting double teamed like what Kelsey is and stuff and power. Like they have other high powered guys on that offense. So what's going on?
He ain't a Mark Andrews beat. Like he's not
What's
that.
he doing?
He's not that big and powerful. He's He's a lean machine.
Yeah, so anyway, that's going to be a good one. I think Atlanta though just do this at home. It's going to be close. It's going to be a great game. I really do think it's going to be a cracking game. But I think the Falcons. Well, I think the Falcons win if Bijan actually plays, and if not, then I think maybe the Bucks are strong. That's where I'm going to go.
I'll be staying out of head-to-head, but I'm going to lean Atlanta. But there's two matchups I like, and I'll move on really quickly. The Falcons have allowed the second most receptions to receivers aligned in the slot. Chris Godwin is your man. Mike Evans has a nasty matchup, terrible matchup. Yeah. Do not be going too hard on Marky Evans. Maybe touchdown because he is a one-on-one threat, but Chris Godwin,
thank you,
the god. He scored 3 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks. Didn't score last week, but as I said, in the slot,
hot form.
He'll be eating up. I mean, as I said, 39 receptions allowed already. Yep. You're almost averaging that out. Mm-hmm. What's that, 9 point something? So he'll be getting a lot of receptions and yards, in my opinion. And Pitts, it's all about Pitts. Yep. If Pitts isn't used, it's disrespectful from the play calling point of view because he had 0 last week. The coach is like, "Why aren't you using?" And he said something like, "Stats are for losers." Well, come on, but he's also you took him early draft capital.
Are you saying that if you lose that game though?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You're not. You win that game and it's okay for you to say that. You're not saying that if you lose that game.
He's walking straight out of that meeting going, 100%. Draw up some players for Kyle next week.
There's no doubt in my mind. He probably still is doing that now, but you're not saying that if they're losing.
And the last one is just Drake London. We love our primetime game, but he has torched the Bucks in the past.
Yes.
So I don't know if he'll do that this week. I feel
think so?
You can't torch.
They're pretty hurt in the secondary, mate. I
hope he does, but just torching him 4 times in a row, he's smacked him.
Some guys just like playing against teams, mate. CD Lamb against the Giants loves it. Like they just find a way, mate.
So, excellent. History says that's what's going to happen. So let's move on to the next game.
Jets and the Vikings in London. Yeah, so this one's fairly early over here. 12:30 game, actually. So if you want to get up, good luck. Enjoy.
Just when I thought I was getting some sleep, I'll probably watch it live.
Jets and the Vikings over in London there. So it's the first one with I think they do about 3 in a row over there now, which is good. So, gee.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is sore, but he'll play.
Well, he has to. Yeah, he has to. He's got to get going.
I think the
Vikings are in good touch, mate.
Sam Darnold, revenge game.
Yeah.
I wish it was in New York.
Yeah.
Look, this is a great game and for the promotion of the league. Yeah. You know, I think I saw Panthers Giants maybe there the last week. You know, but this game is really. This it's a
great way to start off their London games for sure. Like they didn't expect that to happen. No, they didn't expect it, but it's built up a lot bigger here. The Jets need to win this. What are they, 2-2?
Yep.
Really fine for that division now. They got to get going because if they feel themselves, below 500, well, mate, it's tough. It's tough.
You know my best bet in that one?
I'm assuming you're gonna put some stuff on Garrett Wilson here because I know over the last few weeks that Minnesota secondary have given up some big yardage to the wide receivers. Neighbours would be one.
Want me to read out some stats?
Yeah, I'd love you to actually. Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, he faces the Vikings who rank dead last for wide receivers. Yards allowed. Yeah. This is all about yards. Yeah. Debo Samuel, 110. Diggs, 94. Nico Collins, 86. Wicks, 78. And Reed, 139. Have all cooked them in recent weeks. Yep. Plus, Wilson went for 162 in last year's game against Minnesota. Well, he's yet to go for 60.
Yeah.
Now, he'd be frustrated, and he has already said publicly that they haven't been creative, and he sees other teams doing more stuff. So it's a little bit of a whack to the QB and the OC. And the OC I don't rate. I reckon he's just good mates with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's very average. But this is a week to open it up. You're promoting the game and you need a win. So I hope there's a little bit of rain and forecasted, but nothing like New York weather last week. And he had Patrick Surtain last week, who's amazing.
He has had some tough matchups, though.
Shocking matchups.
Like, he's had some tough matchups.
This is the week you can really get it. I reckon he could explode. You take your 60, you take your 70, you take your 80.
He needs to, for sure. There's no doubt. But he's had some tough matchups. Do good wide receivers find a way?
They find a way.
They absolutely find a way. So that's the challenge on him next time, that if it's not working, then you need to find ways to be able to get yourself open in that. But, I think this week's going to be a big week for him.
Beautiful. Let's move on. I mean, the Vikings for me, I'm just going to be watching the Justin Jefferson Sauce Gardner matchup. So it's going to be...
You're going to have to go with the Vikings, aren't you, really? So, yeah. But the Sauce and, as you said, Sauce and Jefferson matchup, watch out.
I'll be tipping the Jets. I think the Jets can bounce back. The defense and that offense need to get going.
Love it.
Who knows? They might have Devontae Adams there very shortly. The boys will be all razzed up for that. And you know what? Garrett Wilson might go, well, fuck, you're going to trade him in. I need to do something.
Yeah.
I might be on the chopping block here.
Yeah.
So, not the case, but you know what I mean. All right, this game's, I think, the easiest game on paper for the week. It's the Carolina Panthers, they've lost 2 linebackers. They're severely banged up already.
Yeah, they are.
And they're playing Chicago Bears at Chicago Bears. And I don't think Chicago have allowed 2 passing touchdowns yet. So they're not allowing you to go slice them in the air, which if you're behind with a 1-3 record, you might be. So this one for me is the Chicago Bears. Probably if we kept our segment the lock, I'd be going the lock. But I just really like the run game here. I really like, probably. We're not doing locks anymore. But I really like the run game.
Yeah, no.
I think the Panthers are getting torched on the ground.
Swift got going. We said it last week that he needed to, and that's exactly what it did. And it's another massive opportunity for him to be able to do it again. So he's it's a great
68. Right? Where's the here's like last week they said Khalil Herbert, he didn't register a single offensive snap. So if you got Herbert, well, you probably don't want him anymore. Roshan Johnson is the guy he's splitting carries with, but last week it was much different. They gave Swift the ball and only Johnson, he got goal line and it was about 8 carries, but he was the goal line back. So don't go too silly on the touchdowns.
Receiving yards for Swifty as well, though. So he really got going there, and they fed him the ball. And I think the same thing happens this week. I think they should be able to cruise through and get this done pretty easily.
If you saw what last week, guess what Chase Brown and Zach Moss combined for? 30 attempts, 131 on the ground and 2 touchdowns, plus a receiving touchdown and 39 in the air. So they combined for like 170
and
scrimmage
Chase got
yards.
More of that too.
Yeah. So that's what they are. That's Swift and Johnson. So it's honestly Panthers are going up a team. It's quite similar. Obviously, Caleb's not as good with his arm at the moment, but DJ Moore's so good. So I just think this is a fantastic spot for Swift rushing yards.
Yep, me too.
All right, we'll move on. This is probably the biggest game of the week for me. I need the Ravens to win. They've started slow. They're going at Cincinnati Bengals, and they're taking on Joe Burrow, who's been slow to start the season. But division game, these always tighten up. You got to stop the run game, and it's all about Derrick Henry and Lamar with their legs. What do you think happens here? I'm a bit worried about Jamar Chase. He is traditionally he gets to work on the Ravens.
Yeah, he does normally. Yeah, so. I don't know. I just can't back the Bengals in right now. I don't know. They're just like too up and down right now. I feel like Baltimore have they've got their game going, and they have throughout the whole season. They just obviously just haven't been able to get the first 2 on the board. But I feel like they've just been able to identify what they want to do, and they're just saying, "You beat us at this, and good luck." And I just think the same continues. I think Baltimore are just the better team right now. I think their defense has got a lot better in that too. Like they've always been strong, but they just look like after what they did to Josh Allen that last week. I'm just like, they're ready to go, and I just think Baltimore are just too good in the end, and they're my tip, and they're just going to continue on their merry way. So
I hope they smash them. If they can smash the Bengals, then I'll be very confident for the rest of the year. Yeah, they're $1.70 at the moment, the Ravens. So no one's going, they're a lock.
You're on the road in a division game, it's always tough. And these are honestly, in my opinion, arguably the best division games. Like Bengals against Cincy, Pittsburgh, and the Browns. They're always the hardest ones I find. It's just like ground and pound football, hard, like 21-20 kind of games, and just like you got to make the most of your opportunities. And Baltimore, I just think, have a bit too much firepower. Yeah. And that's without having Andrews going. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I haven't used they've hardly used the passing game. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get off to a start again. But the one that I want to mention, I said Chase goes all right, but Higgins last time erupted. He went for 89 and 2 touchdowns off 12 targets against the Ravens last time. So Higgins is on our Stewie Dew list as well. He's only just come back to play the last couple of weeks, but Higgins,
hopefully that's the case.
Will be one guy that I reckon might score.
Yeah, they need to get going. They need to start they got a little bit going last week, but they definitely need to get going here because I don't think they've won at home yet.
No.
So
the Bengals,
I don't think they've won at home, which has been a bit of a surprise.
What have they won? One game,
which
is bizarre.
So
1-3, crazy. All right, let's keep moving through. Colts taking on the Jags. This one's in Jacksonville. Anthony Richardson, he's trending in the wrong direction. He hurt himself. He got a nasty corky, but he's reckless. I said this to you at the start of the year. If you have him in fantasy, he's like a Justin Fields type, but Fields he looks after his body much better.
Yeah, that's right.
Richardson's a bit reckless, and mate, he copped the nastiest cork. And I'm thinking, well, all of a sudden, your shoulder last year, now your leg, you're gonna get injured in this league if you keep doing that.
You need to be smarter. Guys are as big as you, like linebackers and the D linemen, bigger, stronger. It's not college football where you're just kind of running around now and you can bulldoze people and be on your merry way. Like there's guys that are strong out there that are trying to get after you. So he needs to look after that body because they need him. They've obviously first round pick, 4th pick overall. They've invested a lot of coin into you to make sure that you're healthy. And the last thing you want is for him to be playing 8 games a year because he's not smart enough to be able to look after
If I'm a Colts fan, I'm going, hey, get corked because Joe Flacco is a different man.
I know, that's true. And Joe obviously provides a different thing and throws the ball really, really well. And we saw that last week. I mean, Pittman went nuts in the air as soon as he came on. And it'll be interesting now that I'm assuming that Jacksonville are going to be preparing for Joe. So it's always interesting to see how it goes from there when the team's had a week to prepare. But the other one is Taylor's looks like he's probably not going to be playing too. So that's another big thing for him that they're going to miss out on because high ankle sprain for him as well. So that happened late in the game. He had a pretty solid game last week, but did it late. So it looks like that he's going to probably miss a couple of games as well. So again, they just kind of lose a little bit of firepower again. And simply, Jacksonville need to win this game.
Jacksonville are $1.67. I was just about to say, I reckon they win this.
They need to win this game, or else I reckon Doug Peterson's in serious trouble. Serious trouble.
He blamed the players in a press conference.
No, that's bad.
That's
bad. You're in trouble then if that's the case. And that's what gets me a little bit is that I feel like being in the league, if you turn against your players, you're cooked. They will find a way to make sure that you're out the door like there's no tomorrow. And that's why I feel like Jacksonville aren't as it's not as a lock-in because if you're not backing in your players from the get-go, good luck.
You know Bill Belichick would go there?
No.
He wants to go to a better side.
Yep.
Doesn't rate Trevor.
I don't know about not rating Trevor. I just don't think just don't think Jacksonville.
Just an interesting thought. I mean, because he is waiting. I think he's waiting for a gig to pop up.
100%.
He's pretty good in
I'll tell you what, if the Eagles don't get going.
Actually, you know what? He's another guy in the hot seat. Sirianni.
If the Eagles don't get going, that's where I could see.
He's on, obviously, bye week, but Sirianni's starting to be questioned. What does he do?
Fancy having a 36-19 record and you're on the hot seat.
But he's... Okay, you were there.
I know.
What's he? When you look at Dan Campbell, you can see what you get.
Oh yeah,
what do you get out of Sirianni?
Don't know.
What does he like? You know what I mean? There's a lot of
no. I mean, he's a guy that loves his players and things like that. There's no doubt. I just think it just comes with the pressure of the side that you've got, and if you're not performing with the team that you've got on paper, then.
What about the clip where Saquon Barkley didn't touch the ball more than twice in the first 9 offensive snaps, and I think it was 250 yards to 0.
Yeah.
And he said, well, when you go 3 and out, you only get 9 chances. Yeah. But it didn't really make much sense.
But you're not only giving it to him 2 times out of the 9 times. So even if you had 9 chances, wouldn't you be giving him the ball 6 out of those 9 chances?
That's exactly what
Third down, obviously, okay, yeah, you probably need to run, like throw the ball or something especially because I'm assuming they were behind the chains. So
And AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are out, which we know they're up against it.
So I'm assuming what they tried to do is because they knew that Brown and Devontae were out, they were obviously anticipating that the Bucks were therefore going to be too heavy on the run game. So therefore they were going to try and throw it around a little bit because secondary was obviously a bit banged up and that too. And maybe that was an option for him, but yeah, I don't know. That's another hot one.
We're getting off topic here. Back to the Colts and the Jags. We could talk about the Eagles all day because they're just always in the press, but they're on bye week this week, so Saquon can put
anyway,
his legs on
I think
ice.
the Colts win.
I'm going to go with the Jags because Jonathan Taylor's out, and I think it might become a little bit easier to defend. And I thought they were pretty impressive against the Texans last week.
Yeah.
So we'll move on, but that one there's tough. You're waiting for the QB situation. You don't know what Jonathan Taylor's doing.
Another division game too, massive.
Jags 0-4. You think they'd fire back. And a guy that I really do like is Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
And my old man's first name and my first name. I thought I'd get around this bloke. Remember I said, yeah, he might be the guy. Well, all of a sudden, he's actually very good. So looking forward to watching him progress. Okay, the Puge Cup. The Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots. I don't know.
This has 6-3 written all over it. It just sounds putrid.
Can we get some defensive touchdowns? I think there's a pick six in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a 6-3.
I don't know.
We've already spoken about Miami. I don't know what to do anymore. I think they still should win this game, but I just don't know. I don't know.
Well, last week, Pollard got them on the ground, but late. He got them late because the defense was out there the whole game and they were exhausted. I think they lost their linebacker as well, the Dolphins. So maybe
Jalen Phillips is out too. He's out for the whole year.
That kills you.
That hurts him.
And geez, he's a big boy, Phillips. On
he's
TV.
a monster on the edge too. He is, but that hurts him actually big time.
I reckon Antonio Gibson could be a sneaky there for a touchdown.
Maybe the Patriots here, but that's a. I wouldn't be going head to head on this one.
I wouldn't be doing anything on this one.
Moving on.
Antonio Gibson over would be the only thing I'll touch. Cleveland Browns at Washington Commanders. Wow, do we need Washington to lose this for our division bets on Philly because they are flying.
Yeah, they do, and I don't see it happening.
Well, Cleveland Browns can get him in the air. Can they stop this guy on the ground? I don't think they can.
Yeah, I think they've got a system going that's really working for them, and they're playing some great football right now.
They did play Arizona.
They did, but they played the Bengals in the Bengals. The Bengals, the same team, I don't know, yet to be proven. But you can only go on form, can't you? You can only go on form.
You can. I
thought the Browns would beat the Raiders as well without Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, and they still didn't win that one. So, I just can't trust the Browns right now.
When do you get rid of Deshaun Watson?
I don't know, but I can't trust them at all. How can you get rid of him when you're fully guaranteed him? Nobody else is going to take his freaking contract. So what? Okay, so you're just going to have to pay him just like.
You got Jameson sitting there. You know that? You know when he does that speech?
I love it. Excellent. Excellent. What a character.
Oh,
I'm a bit tired of the Cleveland Browns right now. I'm just tired of them. And I'm just going to back Washington at home because they have got something going that seems to be really good for them, and that's all we're going to go with.
Number one jersey sales at the moment.
I know. He's lighting up the NFL. He's
good on him.
Good on him.
Why do pick twos always become better than pick ones?
It's unbelievable. The pressure of it all, it's just like, it's great. Like all this pressure on being the number one, I got to do this, got to do that. And then the second pick just comes along and just does their thing. Yeah. It's been amazing. Washington for me.
I'm going to be cheering on the Browns because I need the Commanders to slow down. But yeah, I mean, you can't go past Washington. Okay, the only stat I've got in that is Commanders that they allow the most passing yards. So if Deshaun Watson's he's going to be throwing the ball. And you got Jerry Jeudy. He's been really good, I reckon, considering the Browns have been a bit average. He's gone for 70 plus twice already. And Amari Cooper, he's the main guy, and he's exploded, but he hasn't properly exploded. So they're the two guys that I would be having my eyes on. And Njoku close to a return, but we haven't heard from that just yet. When he comes back, it'll be a bit better.
Good call.
But yeah, just watch that. I think it could be a high-powered offensive game, really, with these secondaries. Righto, let's move on, and it's the Bills at Texans. This is probably the second best game of the round. I reckon Cincy and Ravens. And then this one, only because I reckon both teams have been really good and really bad. Bills last week really bad, but then everyone was already talking about how good they were, and all of a sudden, whack.
Yeah.
And the Texans, they're probably just warming up. Last week, they were a little bit better than the week before, but they were disappointing against the Vikings.
Yeah, they were.
And I reckon this is a really even game.
It's a tight one. Yeah. Like Houston now, like seem like now that they've got the little bit of pressure on them, it's like, okay, we should be winning these games now and things like that. And it just seems like they haven't quite got going yet, but good teams find a way to win. It seems like, and they seem like they're getting that done right now. And the Bills, obviously, I mean, they just ran into a red hot team last week, didn't they? And they just exposed them. And great matchup. This one's going to be tight.
Did we get 300 passing yards from both quarterbacks?
We very much could. We very much could. Yeah.
I'm very much falling in love with Nico Collins in my fantasy team. But like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, he's like a Megatron.
Yeah.
If you watch the way he moves, he's a big receiver.
Big man.
And he's hard to stop when he's in momentum. It's like you get it, and then he's going to go for another 10. Even if there's contact, he's like dragging blokes with him.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to watch, to be honest. So this one's tight. Great. Another division game. I love how the division games are starting to, churn through now, which is awesome. But I think Houston just have enough weapons. Their offense seems to be going relatively well. I think their defense can do enough to be able to kind of stop Josh. But it's going to be, this one's set for a cracker.
The Bills are giving up the fewest yards per receptions and receiving yards.
Yeah, don't know if they've played anybody that has the receivers that Houston have got though right now. So that's what I'll be interested for as well.
Well said. And Tank Dell might be back this week.
Yes, so that could be even better obviously for him. It will be interesting to see how they go with that matchup. But that's set up to be a great game.
Mixon expected to be back as well, so monitor that if you got Cam Akers. It's a heads up for you fantasy owners. But as we said, Derrick Henry last week just ran all over the Bills. If you take away the 87-yard touchdown, he still went for 199. And so he still went 120 after the fact, which means you could probably get on the run game if Joe Mixon's healthy. But off injuries, I don't like touching running backs. I think this would be a big passing game for both quarterbacks. Excited to see.
Good call.
Excited to see Kincaid. I don't think he's had I've been keeping my eye on him and probably losing a lot of money on him because of the game, the way it's gone. Bills have smacked teams and then they rested their starters with 9 minutes to go. But Kincaid, they're allowing the fewest yards, and the second fewest receptions per game to tight ends at the moment, the Texans. So it's not a great matchup, but I reckon he can get on top of them. I reckon he's due for one of those big games, and I just really like him. I don't think Josh Allen can trust his receivers as much as Kincaid just yet. Coleman's a bit young. He's working him on the sideline there, and he's catching the balls.
He loves Shakir. Right
he got banged up a little bit.
He did.
Yeah, Shakir's good. So anyway, just a little one there, but I'm looking forward to passing yards from QBs.
Like it.
Okay, we go to Raiders at Denver Broncos. Man, there's some ugly games coming up this week.
This one we can just kind of stroll through and just leave it at that. So,
well, you know what? I don't know who Patrick Surtain's going to, but whoever he does, he might not even get a yard because Devontae Adams isn't out due to hamstring/trade.
Yes, there you go. Excellent.
Well, let's just skip over it really quickly. The one guy that you'd think would get a little bit of ball, and that is Brock Bowers. He's cooled off the last couple of weeks. He dropped a sitter, but the Broncos are allowing the 7th most receptions to the position. And we know Denver is deploying the 2nd most man coverage. So Bowers, you'd think with all those routes under man coverage, he just gets a lot of receptions because Garden doesn't really have anything to throw to. And Denver would win the game on defense is how I would see it.
Well, that's probably the way it looks again. It just a lot of this that I can see right now is going to be from last week's game that Denver had. 10-9, defense just stops them. Offense, will get themselves in good positions to be able to kick a couple of field goals and somehow be able to win this game. But if Max Crosby comes back, then that could be obviously massive for him, makes it even harder. Bo Nix has not got going at all. He had 60 yards last week. He won the game with 60 total yards
it's so
throwing.
Bad.
That's absurd.
How do the Jets lose that?
That's absurd. I don't understand that at all. And I can possibly see it happening again because their defense is like just keeping him in games. But I don't know. I do not like the look of this game.
The
at
only
all.
thing
I don't really.
I'll tell you what I like, and it's maybe for anyone that gets to this podcast quickly. Zamir White is questionable, but Madison, he's actually been mentioned by the head coach, Antonio Pierce, told the media, quote, deserves more reps and he'll get them.
Yeah.
The day after Las Vegas beat the Browns. That's a really good quote.
I know, but like Denver's like,
I know. So
kept Breece Hall to 4 yards.
I know, but it's because you're right. It was, but the weather, if you watch the game, was terrible.
But even if and that's true. Like it was a crappy day in New York. There's no doubt.
Throw the ball. I think it was slipping out of their hands at quarterback. So I agree.
Yeah.
It ain't a great matchup, but you might be able to get those lines right. Even rushing attempts, you can get on that.
You could.
Madison. It was 50.
He is definitely looking to be the number one guy right now. And when your head coach comes out and says that, I'd be starting to jump on it for sure.
Zamir White, 60% versus 33%. If Zamir White's a bit banged up, I mean, Madison could be he could be getting a lot of work.
No doubt.
So just watch that one, or even on the waivers for the following weeks.
Good call.
Okay, let's keep moving through. Green Bay Packers at Los Angeles Rams. I think this is probably one of the easiest games on the slate to pick because the Rams are leaking, and they're leaking bad. They've got a lot of injuries. Their offense is smashed. Yeah. And I'm loving Jordan's work at quarterback, pun unintended, but his second half was super. It was like he come off the injury list and was a bit, how you go in the first half, and then almost
and he needed to. They were obviously in a bit of trouble, but
against a great defense,
got going. Yeah, he got going.
I really like our man Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I think he breaks through this week. I think he scores. I think he scores. Yeah, I really like the look of it. He gets a great matchup. Last week, obviously Swift did it against the Rams, and I think Jacobs can do it this week too. Yeah, because they are leaking, as you said, mate. So Green Bay for me.
Christian Watson suffered an ankle injury. But Green Bay really got going, didn't they? Their tight ends, Tucker Kraft was huge, I thought. And
Wicks got going as well, wide receiver. He was really, really strong.
Reed is right up there on the stats. I think he'll be one of the first players in history if he can go for a few more yards to go 400 and 100 rushing in the first 5 weeks. Yeah, wow. He's right up there, and he doesn't get talked about a lot.
He doesn't. Not many of the guys at Green Bay actually do, but they just
now
keep doing their thing. And
his stocks are going to rise.
Massive.
Look, I'm just worried about Emmanuel Wilson, who's just, he's sharing the Josh Jacobs running back role a little bit, but I expect Josh Jacobs to cement himself this week.
I think so too.
And at the Rams, I don't really have anything, man. It's a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kyron Williams just keeps kind of doing his thing, mate. He's their engine room right now. I mean,
that's it though, right?
That's it. They don't. I mean, Tutu Atwell has obviously come into it a little bit now that Cooper's out and Puka's out, but I don't know. I don't know much else from the Rams, but Williams will keep doing his thing because the O-line's still working really hard for him, and he's getting plenty of yards. He's scoring every week, so again, he looks like he's another strong option going forward. But Green Bay, I think, will be able to get this done.
Love it, mate. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I think they'll run the ball heavily, and Stafford's going to run into a bit of trouble.
Yep. Good
defense. The Packers when they start well.
Yeah, when they start well, there's no doubt. Yeah.
Who else we got? Sip.
Who else we got? We are on to we're on the Giants and the Seahawks now, mate. So big game,
short and sharp.
Short and sharp, really. Seattle coming off a tough loss last week. Geez, wasn't that a cracking game?
The score wasn't reflective of the game.
It wasn't, was it? Like, what a cracking game! Like, I know it said it was 2 touchdowns in the end,
with
but
the pass interference, how does Metcalf not get called?
Yeah,
we missed the one the week before with I think it was Pitts.
Probably doesn't help when the referees are only part timers and they only look at the playbook and check the rules every couple of weeks and that. Like, something needs to change there, though. Like, I feel in all seriousness, if you're going to do it, they are.
They're not full-time.
No, they're not full-time.
All the refs,
mate.
They don't train during the week.
They're not full-time.
What would they be? What's their salary?
I don't know, but they're not full-time.
Wow.
And that needs to change.
How do you miss passing?
Yeah, I don't know, but that needs to change. So
it does.
You can't be in a professional system like that, and you've got part-time referees and that sometimes don't even know the rules themselves. And going from there. So that's my little thing on it. But they need to be full time.
I can't believe they're not full time.
to be full time. It's as simple as that. So Anyway, a couple of big PIs as well. Like not just like second quarter stuff like game on the line type stuff. And there's been some massive calls that haven't been called, and it's been actually pretty poor. So anyway, Seattle against the Giants. DK Metcalf has been on a tear. I think that continues. He has put up some serious yards, and I still think the Giants are just nowhere near it just yet. They were competitive. They were better last week against Dallas, but I don't think Dallas are the same team as what they have been in previous years. Seattle's offense were on fire. I know they lost, but they got themselves going. Obviously, you've got Walker there, Lockett, Smith and Jigba, and then you've got the big man there that just almost catches everything, and he's hard to stop. So I'm expecting another big game out of DK. They're back at home. They've got something going really, really well, and I think that just the Giants aren't going to be able to just get that covered over out west in Seahawks land. So it's going to be the Seahawks for me, mate.
It's at Lumen Field. Yeah, there you go. They're hard to beat. $1.38. If we had our lock segment, I'd be locking in them. Yeah. Maybe we bring it back.
Maybe we have to.
I'm interested to see the run game. Singletary gets a good matchup if the Seahawks don't get a few of their players back. They're banged up on that line, and they definitely got exposed last week.
They did.
But they tightened up in the second half. But yeah, look, mate, Geno Smith's playing some great.
He actually is.
He might have thrown 4 picks, but he's a quarterback that's kind of come out of nowhere about 2 or 3 years ago. That's sat behind a lot of quarterbacks, got sacked from
another
all these
Jets
other
guy.
Yeah, another Jets guy. I'm going off topic. Wilson, who was at the Jets, now at the Broncos, he should go to Miami.
Yeah.
Like just someone that can throw the ball potentially. Anyway, just someone better than these blokes that they've got. But I think the run game Singletary will be interesting to watch. But I'm looking forward to seeing DK Metcalf. He was probably bad beat of the week last week. A lot of people got on him for a touchdown, and his ass just hit the ground as he was spinning around. He had the PI about 2 times. Yeah. So, this is a great game. And I think JSN, Jackson Smith Najigba, he is really getting going. Yeah. Lockett's starting to take a back seat now. He looks a bit old, Lockett, when you see him without his helmet on. Yeah. But he's this little slot receiver. And with DK really spreading the field, I love him for receptions.
Yeah, he's been good.
Kenneth Walker, we've skipped over, but we said he was our gem of the year.
Monster of a game.
That was off the oblique. I didn't expect him to do that. He was, what do you have, 3 touchdowns, 100+ scrimmage yards. He was enormous. So, looking forward to – this is probably the lock of the week. The Seahawks should beat the Giants. Yep. Righto, Cowboys playing at Pittsburgh Steelers, and this one is a primetime game.
Your face.
Well, I think Dallas can beat them at 220, but Micah Parsons might be out.
Dallas are really banged up there. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. He's been put on IR. He's out for a bit of time now. Micah Parsons won't be playing. They're their best 2 guys on defense. That's their D-line right there, done and dusted. So that hurts them a lot. Yep. Big time. Bland, who's another really good corner for him, still out as well. And then obviously Brandon Cooks from the offensive side is also. They're really hurting right now. And so I can understand why they're at the price that they are, because they just don't have anybody out on the park, particularly from a defensive side. And I know you're worked up about this. This is great.
Typical Steelers,
but the Steelers are going to do it again. That's how it's going to work, mate. The Steelers will win this game. Justin Fields will, I reckon, will hurt him.
He'll throw a couple of picks.
Not so much, mate.
What do we know about Dallas's backups? Do you know much?
I don't know too much about the backups. They rely heavily on their starters. It's always been the case. Like they just invest into their starters as much as they can, and when any time they get a couple of injuries, it starts to deteriorate pretty quickly. I don't know. I just don't like Dallas. All they have right now is Dak and CD. Like, in all honesty, that's all they have. Like their running game's hasn't really got going.
Rico Dowdle, our man, did get the start.
He did. He got the start, but they still they just haven't they didn't quite get going. Like that was a receiving touchdown. Like they just haven't got the run game going yet. And I think Pittsburgh's defense is too strong. Now Pittsburgh's O-line is also pretty banged up, but I think that Justin Fields' legs and that is going to be a bit too much for them, particularly with the 2 guys that are going to be out through the middle there. And Pittsburgh win this game.
Yeah, it's
Oh, look at him.
okay. I'm going to be taking Dallas at 220.
He's mad about that because the Ravens again won't be leading the division. So
I actually, you know what? You make a lot of points, and it's hard to tip the Cowboys this week, but I'm going to tip them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, you know how they have to win. Dak's going to have to be.
Dak has to be a monster.
Special, and
Dak has to throw for 300 plus, and he's
paid to do this.
That's right.
Prime time.
That's right.
Get it done.
But I don't know.
You know,
Pittsburgh's
you know
defense.
who I'm going to be looking forward to watching.
I hope it happens for that. I hope it does. Like Dak is clearly the highest paid player in the league, and he needs to go out there and prove it. This is the week for him to do it. But I just think Pittsburgh are just too strong.
Yeah, there's a guy who I've been watching a little bit. His name's Tolbert. He's a wide receiver.
Yes, he has been coming along nicely.
Ferguson and Tolbert are going to have to be.
They have to.
They're going to rise to the occasion. But Tolbert is one that you need to keep your eyes on because he's actually better than everyone thinks. Cook out. He's going to get a bit more work. I'm liking a bit of air yards in this. I just think this could be a good game. Hey, it's not the best game for prime time, but we'll find a way to make sure it is. Let's fly through. We've been talking a lot of rubbish today. Geez, a lot to talk about in there. In week 5, there's already a lot going on. And now we get to the Chiefs and the Saints. This one's at Kansas City. I wouldn't mind seeing Patrick Mahomes lose. He just keeps winning. And winning ugly,
ways, don't they?
Yeah, ugly. Last week, 17-10.
Good teams just do it, don't they? They just seem to just find a way to be able to just win games like ugly. Like he hasn't like that was. I think the stat on the weekend. Like that was the first touchdown pass over 50 yards in a year or so.
Worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
and he used to just do that for fun. And obviously having Tyreek Hill and like guys like that, yeah, I get that. But anyway, they're finding a way to win, and their defense has come along massively in the last couple of years, and they just keep doing it. They've got a guy that's obviously well experienced now in the quarterback that he is, and he just knows how to run the show, and they get it done. Kelsey got going. I expect that to continue. I really think he gets off our Stewie Jew board.
He's got to get a tutty.
He's got to get off his Stewie Jew board. So I think he gets off this, and they're just going to be. They'll just find a way to win again at home. They will find a way to do it, and I know Rashid Rice hurts him. Like
how much does he hurt them? You reckon?
Oh, I mean, he's
wasn't
working
last week.
I mean, he's had 24 receptions for 400 yards or something.
Yeah, I know. And there's no one like Juju Smith-Schuster. He ain't going to do that.
Nah. And Worthy, it's a lot of pressure on him for a first year, but good enough. Juju has to step his game up. Watson has to get going as well. He's another wide receiver there, but again, now they're probably going to rely heavily on Kelsey, and
could be ugly this game, like low scoring.
Yeah.
Not the great game. I tend to, Mahomes, he's thrown 5 picks already in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 touchdown passes. It's not like he's flying. Their defense is keeping him in the game.
It's very funny. Like I saw a stat on the week that you've mentioned, and Jalen Hurts has similar. And everybody wants Jalen Hurts to be dropped, and that's enough. We're tired of him. And Patrick Mahomes over here with similar stats going, he's a king, don't worry about it. He's a legend. And that's what happens when you have 3 Super Bowls, and that's what happens when you don't have any. So
you have 3 play calls from the refs go your way. They should be 0-3. You Chiefs fans know what I'm talking about. Look at you smiling while I'm talking. You know exactly what I'm saying.
They should be 1-3.
Very good. Well, teams on buys, and they're powerful teams. The Lions, the Eagles, and not so powerful, the Chargers. And the Titans. Will Levis can stay on by for a month and rest that shoulder. He needs to go back to the mayonnaise factory and lube up his shoulder joints and let that ball fly.
I tell you what, Herbert needs to find something too. I tell you what, averaging 140 yards a game's absolutely killing you, mate.
130, I heard, wasn't it?
It is putrid.
They've changed their game plan to just run at nothing.
Mate, shocking.
But that's all we've got. Plenty there, guys. We love you all that tune in. NFL, we're really going to crank it up now. American Aces. AFL season done. NRL Granny wishing all the boys from the Storm all the best.
Good luck.
In the grand final. And congratulations to Joshy Dunkley and the Lions. But it's all about the NFL and the NBA as well. But the NFL is cranking up. And I'm telling you right now, if Devontae Adams gets traded to the Jets over the weekend, you'll see that train.
The end of it.
You'll see that train might do a live show. He might be doing a live show from the pub. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week.